The finals just got some updates with the Summer Games Fest. We also got to talk about a brand new secret mechanic that was just recently implemented. We'll go over an achievement that might not be working for you depending on what game mode you're playing. We'll discuss some of the new community feedback with the melee, and I'll also go over some corrections from my last video. We got a ton to talk about. What's up world, it's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the final. Okay, so jumping right into it, we actually do have an update on the Summer Games Fest, which is happening very soon. Now this is happening between June 7th all the way to June 9th. Now the actual Summer Games Fest will be on June 7th, and this will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Time or 4 p.m. Central Time, as well as 2 p.m. PST. There's a bunch of developers for the round 1 of the Summer Games Fest. Now there is a reason why this is significant to the finals, as well as Embark and even Nexon themselves, and that is that Embark is actually a headliner at this event, which is actually perfect with the coincide and the release date of Season 3. So Season 3 does start in 23 days, or Season 2 at least ends in 23 days, and the Summer Games Fest starts in 19 days. So this lines up perfectly for them to showcase something at the event. And yeah, actually here, for their 2024 first round partners, Embark is actually confirmed to be there. So they are a headliner in this Summer Games Fest round 1 partner. What's also significant there is that they are also showcased alongside Nexon. So they've separated the two entities there, even though Nexon is their publisher, which could mean we might even see Arc Raiders. So if you are a fan of that game or have kept up with that one, I more than likely will as well. And again, if you didn't know, Embark is actually working on both games. They're working on the finals and Arc Raiders. So even if they just had Embark on this list, more than likely we might get a presentation for both the finals and as well as Arc Raiders. Obviously nothing is confirmed there, however I really do think we're going to see Season 3 for the finals at the very least, especially because the 23-day mark and the 19-day mark for this event kind of align way too well for it not to be there. And this obviously reminds me of the Game Awards when the game was actually shadow dropped and showcased back in December, which was absolutely insane. The player count back then was staggering and they had some really good numbers. So my guess is they're definitely going to showcase and advertise at this event. Why they've chose to separate Nexon from Embark there, at least as far as that goes, I'm not entirely sure. Again, we might see Arc Raiders and that might be why, although Embark is working on both games. There's also a bunch of events running after June 7th, with June 8th and 9th also showcasing some events there. The more significant ones I know you guys are all waiting for are the Xbox Game Showcase as well as the PC Gaming Show. Those are both on June 9th, with the Xbox Showcase happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and the PC Gaming Show happening at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, we still might see something with the finals there, maybe even something with Arc Raiders, as well as those two showcases that are happening. A last minute mentionable here is that Nexon is also working on a game called The First Descendant. So it might not even be Arc Raiders there, or they might showcase both Arc Raiders and Season 3, but we also might even get The First Descendant. And if you didn't know, I also covered that game as well, and I did thoroughly enjoy the beta test. I'm going to be covering a lot of games on this channel from Nexon themselves, so we might even cover that one as well. Again, that's a really cool one. If you haven't checked it out, you can check out my other video on it, or several videos on The First Descendant. What's really fun in the beta test, so we'll have to wait and see on all that there. Now, apparently there is an achievement issue going on that I want to make you guys aware about. So currently there is an achievement to cash out 50 million. However, if you play in the Power Shift mode, this doesn't actually count toward that. So Power Shift currently does not count toward the 50 million achievement. So if you've just been playing Power Shift mode like myself, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I think it's actually better gameplay, at least for videos. So unfortunately, if you are an achievement hunter, you won't be able to get that through that mode. I do hope they update that eventually, as I feel like that shouldn't be the case, or that's at least bugged, or seemingly so. Seems like some of the stats are also bugged there, especially toward the achievements, so we'll have to see if they do end up fixing that. Hopefully they do for you guys, especially for you ones that do actually achievement hunt on these games. I also want to make a correction on my last video where I talked about the Skyway Stadium Red Moon. Of course, I've never looked up at this and I didn't notice it itself. I've just kind of played the game itself and not really noticed all those little small details, although this one is pretty big. However, it seems like this has been there the whole time. I figured it might be coinciding with that Easter egg stuff, especially with the lunar stuff that Rob has talked about over on the Discord, and especially how highly upvoted this post actually was. And there being a highly upvoted comment being that this could be a potential Easter egg or part of the lore. I figured this would be potentially something that's brand new, although I should have just looked into it myself. So a bit of a correction there, just to let you guys know that's always been there. Also, the post about the downed bodies around the map does look like it's something brand new. I've had some other commenters on my YouTube channel pointing out that these are actually appearing around the map, so this definitely could be a teaser for Season 4. So definitely some really cool stuff there to look out for, especially when we went from Season 1 to Season 2 and we had the glitches around the map. This seems like one of those things. We're not sure on the theming for Season 3 yet. There hasn't been a ton of stuff with that. However, if you've seen other trailers, especially from launch, we're still waiting on some different skins, especially the samurai stuff. We never did get anything that pertains to that stuff aesthetically, especially with the map teaser that we had before. Maybe there's some play on stuff there. Again, we're not totally sure on anything yet, and there's nothing that's come to fruition. There's also another skin that was pointed out during the trailers that we still haven't got as of yet, which are these guys here who have the purple eyes and the skull masks. Actually, Rob did point this out, and he said they are spooky Halloween guys. So I'm assuming that these are going to come out for Halloween, and so we won't see them for quite some time. Still cool that they tease skins that are potentially coming in a way later date. Again, it seems like it's pretty set in stone that these are going to come out for Halloween, and I'm sure they have a ton of stuff planned with that there. Jumping over though, we do have to talk about that brand new secret mechanic. Apparently this was implemented around 2.7 to patch 2.8. However, if you didn't know, you can actually look around full 360 all the way up and all the way down while you are reviving or even cashing out or even stealing in terminal attack. So before, you were locked and fixated to a certain position in your vision where you weren't able to turn around or look around completely. There's been a lot of controversy around this. Some people really do like it, some people really don't. Where in a lot of games you are purposely limited to that field of vision in front of you, so that way you have to make that kind of drastic decision there. I'm on the fence about this. I somewhat like it and I somewhat don't, as I feel like there is a little bit of negative balance there. I'm curious on your guys' thoughts on this, if you think it kind of affects the gameplay a little bit too much. Again, there's been a lot of discussion around this, especially on the forum post that showcased this. It's actually something that I wasn't aware about because I've always thought I was restricted to that vision point and never really tested looking around, as I didn't want to lose the revive or the cash out. Although obviously that has since been updated and implemented, and it wasn't in the patch notes, so we don't know if this is currently a bug or if this is intended. It wasn't displayed. I feel like this would have been something that they disclosed in the patch notes, especially this big of a change. Again, I'm really curious on your guys' thoughts with this there, if you think this is good for the game or not good for the game. Again, there's some changes in the meta, so we'll have to see how it plays out overall. I feel like a lot of people don't know about this as of yet, so I figured I'd bring it to your attention so that we can get some more feedback there for Embark. Not to say that I'm the one bringing attention, although I do think some devs actually watch my videos, as I've seen some recent comments from some developers and even one that comments on my videos from occasion. That's been so cool to see, and honestly I can't describe how much that makes me feel. And I sincerely really appreciate your guys' continued support with the channel. It's also amazing and awesome to see how involved Embark is, especially with their creators. Moving on though, we do have a last minute mentionable here, which is some of the community feedback with the Dagger update and the Melee update in general. We've had some mixed emotions here, where sometimes the Sledgehammer and other Melee is kind of hitting out of range, or at least with latency it seems that way. Although for the Melee players, and especially the Dagger players here, they seem to have loved this update. I think they're still finding a balance there, especially with the latency stuff. However, I'm so glad they addressed the Melee stuff for you guys, especially with how fast they did it. It just goes to show how involved Embark is, especially with their community. Overall though, that's about covered for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until next dose.